Today, we would be seeing a recap of Supernatural the anime series. It's a Japanese anime based on the Supernatural TV series, produced by the studio Madhouse. If you haven't seen the show before, spoilers ahead. Stay calm and enjoy. The episode begins on the night of a full moon. A man is sharpening a knife as we then see he has a woman tied to a chair. She tearfully asks him, "Why are you doing this?" He explains that he was hurt when she rejected him. He tells her that he is her husband, but she insists that she doesn't know who he is. His eyes flash and he begins to brutally slash her. Later, we see the Winchester Brothers, Sam and Dean, driving along a highway. Sam has a dream of when he was a baby, running through a field, and then a woman calling his name as she burns on the ceiling. He is then startled awake. Dean tells him they are getting close to Missouri. They're going to investigate the events he saw at the start of the episode. At the police station, the two brothers walk in. Pretending to be federal marshals, they go meet Detective Boyle. She takes them to interview the man who killed his wife, Mr. Evans. While talking to him, he insists he didn't kill his wife, Amanda. Sam and Dean look at a security video that clearly caught him entering the house the night of his wife's murder, but Sam doesn't think that the husband did it. Suddenly, he notices in one frame, when he looks into the camera, his eyes are glowing. Dean doesn't think it was something supernatural, but Sam does, reminding him that their father said spirits and ethereal beings often glow in photographs. The conclusion is made that it might be a doppelganger. Along with Detective Boyle, the group head over to the crime scene. They notice the amount of devastation and blood. Dean walks in on the detective looking at a picture and crying. She explains that the victim was her friend. Sam finds a trail of blood leading to the sewers. Both Dean and Sam leave to go down the sewers to investigate further. A man appears behind Dean, striking him with a metal pipe. The man was Zach, the victim's husband, or at least something that looks like her husband. Sam wakes up to find himself tied up, with the shapeshifter pretending to be Dean. Using Dean's appearance, he expresses his feelings that Dean wouldn't share with his brother. Sam struggles and tries to free himself, eventually waking up the real Dean, who was able to free himself. In the next scene, we see the shapeshifter transforming himself back into his original form. The brothers escape and go in search of the shifter. They explain that a special bullet is all they need to use. At Detective Boyle's house, they fill her in on what has been happening when she pulls a gun on Dean. He manages to get the gun from her and tells her that he knows she is the shifter. The building is surrounded by a SWAT team when she lets out a scream and jumps through the window, running up the side of the building. Sam came running up the alley when he is stopped by the police. Dean pulls down the mask, revealing that it's him. The brothers leave the scene, eventually turning on each other, as Dean questions if that's really even his brother at all. The two start fighting while narrowly avoiding traffic, each insisting that they are the real Dean and Sam. In the next scene, Sam comes running into the middle of traffic and shoots at the car, hitting the shifter.
Thanks.
They go back to the sewer and rescue the detective before the episode ends on a happy note.
Hey, thanks a lot for saving my life.
That was episode 1, entitled Alter Ego. Episode 2, Roadkill, starts with a couple, Molly and David, trying to find their destination on the map while driving out in the middle of nowhere. Molly gets distracted and almost hits a man standing in the middle of the road and ends up crashing the car into a ditch. She eventually wakes up to find David missing. She goes looking for him and finds an old cabin. She tries to go inside and finds someone hanging above the doorframe. In the next scene, we see the brothers driving along the same highway, when Molly runs out in front of the car, almost getting hit. She takes them back to the car, but it's gone. They question her to find out what exactly happened. They tell her about Jonah Greeley, the man whose ghost haunts Highway 41 after being killed there 15 years ago. After going back to the cabin, Dean finds a secret room. They find the body of Greeley's wife hanging, and discover that her husband is buried under a tree nearby. Suddenly, hands come out of the mirror grabbing Molly. They leave, but someone looks out at them. They find Greeley's body and purify it, thinking they had ended the curse, but Molly still insists on finding David when Sam tells her the truth. She runs off in tears, getting grabbed by a hooded figure and plunged into a river. They realize that Greeley's wife is the second angry ghost and must be purified as well.
Wake up!
They take her to see David, only to realize that he remarried. Sam tells her that she actually died in the crash 15 years prior. It turns out that Molly and Greeley were both haunting the highway on the day of their anniversary. The reveal of this episode was a heartbreaking one, something that everyone can relate to. As Sam put it, letting go of people you care about is the hardest thing to do, but you just have to believe that they're in a better place in the end.